party people. So I haven't watched anime in a long time, and maybe I'll make a video about that later. But for now, I'll just pick up where I left off years ago. I'm wearing a shirt from Prince of Tennis, right? I was so captivated by the anime. It actually made me want to play tennis. And I did, but then I realized I sucked. So I was more of a spectator. It's like Prince of Tennis has a reputation for doing things like over the top, like unrealistic signature move, like things that defy the laws of gravity. Now I'm watching an anime, a sports anime about soccer, BKA football to the rest of the world, and I'm doing it simultaneously with Shadow up there, and he's doing his thing with his videos. I think it's actually on his Patreon site up there. So to make a long story short, I'll address this in another video. To make a long story short, there's only so many things you can get away with reacting to an anime episode while watching it. Unfortunately, that's not allowed anymore, and there's no way to get around it. Supposedly, people have tried to figure out ways to get around it, but all of those have been, I believe, shut down. I don't know if anyone's still doing it with the watermark, like the grayed out picture. I don't know, but I watched 4 episodes. Shadow and I have watched 4 episodes of this football anime called Blue Lock. Now, it's hasn't gotten too over the top yet, but I think it will pretty soon. What I've seen in the first 4 episodes is it has a theme to it that I notice is developing. Like, it's supposed to be, of course, football is supposed to be a team sport, and all these individual football players in Japan, this sports anime takes place in Japan, all the male players are strikers, which is basically the position that scores the most goals or has a best chance of making a goal. They're the exciting people, aren't they? Usually, it's like in basketball. In today's day and age, this is the golden age of point guards. And like, if you look at the most popular players, they're probably point guards. So, or a variation like a point forward, point center, etc. I like it so far. I mean, like, in terms of Blue Lock, nobody knows why it's called Blue Lock yet. And they played their first game like on like the 3rd episode, I think. And it's so you must be wondering, like, why is this entire team of strikers? How are they supposed to make a team when all of them need goals? So the reason everyone needs goals is because that is supposedly the criteria for who stays in this quote unquote camp, like a football camp, and it's developing. There's apparently a lot of characters. I don't want to say these are spoilers, but it does show their faces. It just obviously doesn't give more detail than that. These are like the cover art, etc. Now, I will admit I'm learning a bit more about football, but like it doesn't focus on. It assumes you know the general rules of football. So far, they might go into more detail later. I don't know. The protagonist is we haven't seen his full abilities yet, and that's quite different from some other sports animes where someone is already gifted. It just takes the right motivation and skill set and things to make them blossom, for example, for them to erupt. And we haven't seen that. It's only first 4 episodes. Now, I asked Google here, because this is a sports anime, takes place in Japan. Has the Japanese Olympic team, well, I think Japan has won the Olympics before, but in terms of the World Cup, the Japanese team representing the men's football team consistently make it to the knockout rounds, but they've never won a World Cup for the men's. Now, they've gotten up to the semifinals a couple times at least, I think, at least more than 2. But they just can't get over that hump, right? So, the women's team, on the other hand, semi-recently beat the United States women's team for the World Cup. So, I'm not trying to say any gender stuff, but if you look at what's happening in the WNBA compared to the NBA these days, it makes you wonder. It makes you wonder a lot of things. I'm not gonna say what I'm wondering about, but it makes you wonder things. Okay. So for some reason, I was unable to take screenshots off Crunchyroll, and that's understandable. Maybe they figured out how to stop people from doing that. These images are on Google Images, and I mean, like, some of them might be copyrighted. It's hard to tell what's fan art and what's not, but I assume a thing I see in a lot of the pictures. I'll show you guys what the Google results are if I want to take a look. Yeah, so as you can see, these are some of the characters, and it looks kind of flashy and whatnot. A recurring theme you see in this art, I assume from the manga or anime, are puzzle pieces, and that's sort of what the team aspect of it is. You have to put the right pieces together in order to succeed. Now, you can't have an MVP caliber player on, like, every one of the members on the same team. It's not gonna happen. Like, due to, like, I assume countries that have teams that regularly compete, like their own leagues and whatnot, there's this thing called salary caps. There's this thing called contracts, extensions. I'm sure they have their own form of 10-day contracts, etc. They have bench players. So you see these puzzle pieces, yeah? And I'm starting, within the first 4 episodes only, I'm starting to understand, like, I have my theories behind the show, but I haven't shared them yet. But, hopefully none of this involves spoilers. I will put down in the title of this video that some spoilers may be revealed. But there's nothing too crazy so far. Episodes 1 through 4, just introducing, I assume, some of the main characters. Yeah, a lot of these faces that continue past the first season, I assume. I had to ask Google if this anime was still continuing. Yes, it is still continuing. How long? I don't know, but it captures your attention. I haven't seen anything mind-blowing, but I'm intrigued, and I'll probably continue watching it. That's all I really gotta say about it. I mean, like, dude, like, some of the names are the fucking hardest parts, because, like, obviously I'm not Japanese, obviously. But yeah, imagine if Japan men's team won the World Cup around the time of this anime. That'd be crazy. And okay, so those are my thoughts on this anime. It's on Crunchyroll. Is there any other way to watch it? I have no idea. Do people still do torrents and stuff like to find this shit? Pirate Bay? Does Pirate Bay still exist? I don't know this shit because I don't download shit. Mostly I upload, hence YouTube and Twitch, etc. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. Check this anime out if you want to, and feel free to chime in if you disagree with something, you know, that I say or you hear me indirectly say through Shadow. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Take care of yourselves and each other.